Welcome back to another episode of Steele Talkin Sports. My name is Jay Steele, and let's get talking. Hello and welcome. It is Monday, June 10th. We are here to talk some NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs. They are winding down as we've only got a couple of games left to go. So let's just hop right into it and let's get cracking.
And here we go.
So just to recap last week's episode, Dallas started off game one and got absolutely demolished. Boston had a huge lead. We'll go over the stats here in a minute, but we were on Dallas plus the 6.5. We lost. We were on Dallas money line. We lost. So that was a bad start. Also, we wrapped it up with another loser in Edmonton. So 0-3 on last week's episode. That's not very good, but we'll try to correct those mistakes and get back to some winning ways here with today's episode. Last night, game two did not go Dallas's way as well. They played much better. Luka had one of the superstar games that he is capable of having. He put up a great performance. However, nobody besides PJ Washington really helped him out. So that kind of stunk to see. We've got to get a better showing from the rest of the team from Dallas in game three if they have any chance to keep this series alive. So, but congrats to Boston. They played a tough game. That line was minus 6.5. If you got that number, then you won because Boston won by 7. That was tough. But I've got some stats to talk about. So give me a second. I'm going to share my screen really quick so we can show what is going on in these past couple of games that I've been paying attention to. So give me 1 second. Here we go. Let me full screen this. Yeah. So here we go. So you'll see right here in the team stats. For this is game one, final stats, and then here's my ATS record since I've been doing episodes during the NBA playoffs. 16-12, not very great, but a little bit above 500, so we'll take it. Field goal percentage in game one, 41% for Dallas, 47% for Boston. Dallas shot 7 for 27 from 3, and Boston dropped in 16 of 42. The free throws has been terrible. This is a spot where Dallas could have took advantage in game one. Obviously, they did not. Oh, shit. Damn. My light just fell. Whew. That scared me. Sorry. I guess we'll go with no light today. Wow. Oh, that was crazy. Whew. Sorry, dogs. Holy. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Rebound advantage went to Boston. They were even on the offensive end, but Boston grabbed a few more defensive rebounds. Look at the assist numbers, though. 23 assists to 9 assists. Dallas just did not move the ball as a team. That was pretty rough. Sorry about that. And, blocks 9-1. Porzingis had a number of blocks in that game. He looked really good. He came out and shot very well early in game one, which was surprising to me. I didn't think that he was going to be as effective. So that was a good sight to see. Obviously, Boston had a huge lead. Largest lead was 29 points. Dallas did cut it to 8 in the third quarter, but Boston proceeded to go on like a 15-0 run, so they took care of that game pretty easily. As we move on to the game 2 stats, pretty much the same. Dallas did shoot a lot better in game 2. Luka had a great first quarter. I think he had like 12 or 14 points, a couple of boards, a couple of assists, and then they carried a lead into the first quarter, and right up until halftime, Boston took a small lead at halftime, and then it was a tight game all throughout the third quarter and the fourth quarter, but eventually Boston pulled away and won by 7. But man, Dallas had a 7-point lead at one point. They had more points in the paint, 54-46. They did turn the ball over 15 times, though, and conceded 21 points off of turnovers. That's terrible. They allowed Boston to get 10 steals and 5 blocks. Dallas actually won the rebound battle, 43-31. But again, the free throw percentage, look at this. I mean, 16 out of 24 from the free throw line. Well, Boston went 19 for 20. You just can't have that in the NBA Finals. I said it in last week's episode that Jaylen Brown had to be better at the free throw line. Well, I don't think he's taken that many free throws, but everybody else who's taken a free throw has made them. And Dallas, on the other hand, I know there was one sequence where Luka missed 2 of 2. And then the following sequence, he missed 1 of 2. So he was 1 for 4 from the free throw line in 2 instances where he got fouled, and he made a bunch of others, but still, you can't have that. And then Daniel Gafford is not a good free throw shooter. He went 1 for 2 in a sequence. You've got to pick that up. Luka made 4 threes, but the whole team went 6 for 26. You can't have that on a night where Boston shoots 10 for 39. That's just unacceptable. So very not positive things to see from Dallas when we're looking for Dallas to win this series, obviously. But maybe we have to shift our focus in Game 3, kind of not bet with our heart and bet with our head, and maybe back this Boston team. We'll see. We'll get there. And then Game 1 for the Stanley Cup. And then here's my ATS record. Actually, I needed to update this. It's actually 11-11, because I was on the over and Edmonton in Game 1, and they both lost. So that is now an even playoff record. That sucks. But you can see Edmonton got up more shots. Florida was laying the wood with the hits, 57-32. They won the faceoff 60% of the time. They just won the game 3-0. They beat the Edmonton team pretty handily in that game. Not much else to say on that front except for Florida just played a better game. McDavid was the only person that got shots on goal. Everybody else seemed to have trouble with the Florida defense from what I saw. And Florida just played a more hard-nosed game, more checks, more hits, really getting in the way of the passing lanes and making it tough on Edmonton to find open shooting lanes. So we've got some work to do on our teams that at least I am on for the playoffs. So let's move on to tonight's game. We've got Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals tonight in Florida at 8 p.m. Let's see. Edmonton on the money line is plus 110. Florida on the money line is minus 140. The puck line, Edmonton plus 1.5 is minus 226 odds, and Florida minus 1.5 is plus 189. And the total is set at over under 5.5 goals. do not know what to make of Edmonton. I have to feel like they are going to get it together and have a better performance. When you watch the game, you can hear the announcers say all the time that the best way to beat Sergei Bobrovsky is to get up above the shoulders. Too many times, if you try to shoot the puck through his knees or past the pads down low, he's got those in the bag. There's no problem stopping those shots. So you've got to get up above the neck. That's where you got to beat him, or you've got to surprise him with the 5-hole in between the legs. But I think Edmonton's got to be more aggressive. They've got to create more space in the offensive end. Use McDavid's speed to enter the puck into the offensive zone, and I look for them to even up this series tonight. I know that Florida is a tough team, but these hockey games usually swing back and forth. So I will be interested to watch this game tonight. The only thing I see on the injury report is Evander Kane is probable Monday versus Florida, undisclosed. That is on Odds Shark, but on ESPN, okay, he is listed day to day. But there's no sign that he's not going to play. So, yep, we don't have any issues with the goalies. Looks like Stuart Skinner's going to start, and Sergei Bobrovsky's going to start again. Let me look at one thing. I want to look. I could just look at it here. Currently on DraftKings, oh, here we go. Never seen this before. DraftKings implied win probability for this game is Panthers 54% of the time, Edmonton 46%. Here we go. So currently on DraftKings, it doesn't show up on my computer, but on my phone, when you click like the NHL game and look at the stats on bets that have been placed, currently 42% of the public is on the money line for Edmonton, 58% for Florida. As far as the spread, Edmonton plus 1.5 is 57%, and Florida minus 1.5 is 43%. And 62% of the public are on the under 5.5. Pretty evenly bet across the board. Obviously, the under being at 62% is very interesting. A lot of times, once at least things that I've noticed, like once the betting splits cross over that 60% number, that's when either the public is very right, and they think it's going to be a low scoring game, 2-1 or something, or kind of like the other night's game, 3-0. But that's a lot of times when the Vegas odds makers know something, and they're baiting you into taking that under. And then this is a 4-4 game going into the third period, and somebody's got to score, or it's so. And I don't know. A game like that obviously blows past the over in probably the second or the third period. Or you could have like a 3-2 game in the third, and if you get a tie goal to send it to OT, then you bust all the people on the under who are sitting on a 5. And that's when the Vegas odds makers win their money back, and The 38% that are on the over, feel like a genius. So I don't know. Like I said in last week's episode, I think the games that more goals are going to be scored are early in this series. I know it was only 3-0 last week, or in game one on Saturday, but if Edmonton gets some of those chances, this was easily 3-2, and you're looking at a very similar score to hitting that 5.5. So I think that this game's got to go over. The defense will tighten up later in the series, but I will be on the plus 5.5. And yeah, I like Edmonton to win the series, so I'm gonna take the plus money at the Edmonton money line plus 110. So that is what I will be on. Yeah, and that game is tonight, 8 p.m. On ABC. So get on over there and watch that. Moving on, Game 2 of the NBA, or Game 3, I'm sorry, of the NBA Finals. Wednesday, June 12th, played back in Dallas. The current line is Dallas minus 1.5, and the total is set at over under 213. Obviously, this money line matchup is going to be much closer since Dallas is only favored minus 1.5 as compared to these past couple of games when Boston was favored minus 6.5 and the money lines were like minus 220 and plus 210. So this is going to be a lot tighter. Actually, currently on DraftKings, the number is minus 2 for Dallas at minus 105 and plus 2 for Boston at minus 115. The over is correct at 213. Boston on the money line plus 105 and Dallas on the money line minus 125. This is tough, man. Obviously, I really like Dallas, and I want Dallas to even the series up. But Boston is on a heater now. They feel really confident. They've won, I guess, 7 or 8 games in a row now. 9 games in a row now since the game 2 they lost against Cleveland. So, yeah, they won 3 in a row to Cleveland. They won all 4 against Indiana, and then they've won 2 against Dallas. This team they're feeling it right now. They're feeling it. And let's see, as far as ATS in that time, they are 3-5-1, 3 wins, 5 losses, and 1 push. And they have not been a dog in any of those games. So this will be the first time they have been a road dog in the playoffs. And they're 6-0 straight up in their last 6 games on the road. Hard to find any holes in the trends for Boston. Dallas is now 12-4 straight up in their last 16 games at home. Stupid, but they're 7-0 ATS in their last 7 games played on a Wednesday. I mean, thank you, Odds Shark. I appreciate, dialing it down to the day of the week. And the total has gone under in 4 of Dallas's last 5 games when playing at home against Boston. So definitely look for the total to be under that 213 number. Obviously, Luka is on the injury report with 100 injuries. Yesterday, it was game time decision, thoracic contusion. I mean, dude, he's got so many injuries. We know. Just put him permanently on the injury list. We get it. Kristaps Porzingis did show up on the injury report. He is probable for Wednesday, but it looked like he came up limping late in the fourth quarter. Kind of an awkward interaction under the basket. He fell weird. obviously his long legs, like anytime he falls, a big guy of that size, like anytime they fall to the court, you kind of hold your breath because they're just so fragile. They're not built to withstand so many falls and um, those kind of collisions, I guess you could say. So hope he's okay. Would not be surprised if he had even more limited minutes, under 15, or they just use him kind of as a spot up shooter. But I think he's very vulnerable on defense, if he plays a lot of minutes, because if his calf is compromised, you're just putting risk on him getting hurt again. Um, there was a play where Dallas was driving on a fast break, and Derek Lively got called for a charge that Porzingis took, and he was in the right position. He did set his feet at the right time, but I think that may have been maybe not the play. Like, I know the rebound where he got hurt was the play that he got hurt, but that charge, that's a risky play to make when you're coming off of injury, because taking a charge like that, that could be the beginning of a re-injury of some sort. So, great play. He got the offensive foul called on Derek Lively, but I don't know if that was the best decision, because that may have already kind of compromised his knee or calf a little bit, as far as kind of getting it prepped to be injured, if that makes sense. A bump the wrong way and you fall, you don't notice it, but it is kind of tweaked, and then the weird rebound happens, and now you're re-injured. So I would be weary if I were Boston about how many minutes he plays in Game 3. That is what I got. As far as how I would like to bet that game, I gotta feel like I gotta take Dallas with the short number. Dallas at home on the season, 30-19. Boston on the road, 33-14. Wow, on the season, Boston was only a underdog 3 times. They are 1-2 in that time. Interesting. Against the spread away for Boston, 22-22-3. Against the spread at home, Dallas 25-24. So not really an edge there either way. Over under at home for Dallas, 20-29. So that's 20 games went over, 29 games went under. As for Boston, the over under away, 23 games over, 24 games went under. So definitely look for the total to stay under the 213.5. That is what I will be looking at. Oh, this is, sorry, I got distracted. I wanted to see some betting splits from Sports Betting Dime. It's another website you can use to just check what are the public reporting. What are the odds makers reporting that the public is betting on currently? Also, you can find other lines from other sports books. Also, Sports Betting Dime has a predicted score: Boston 121, Dallas to 114. But weirdly enough, the win probability is Dallas 53%, Boston 47%. It's kind of odd. And they are reporting that 79% of people are already on the over 213.5. That is weird, because DraftKings is reporting 72% of Boston on the money line, 62% on Boston +2, and 57% on the over 213. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Um, yep, I've got to believe this series has got to go more than 5 games, 6 games. Dallas cannot let Boston go up 3-0, especially on their home court. I don't trust Boston on the road. I've got to take Dallas minus the 1.5. Dallas minus 125 on the money line if you want to be safe and think it's going to be a 1-point game. Either way, I think Dallas has to win this game. They've got to show up. They've got to make some adjustments on the pick and roll game. Luka's getting blitzed, and he's just not quick enough to get around the Boston defenders. And Kyrie has not shown up. So something has got to change. Honestly, I did want to say that, like, the boos and, like, the Kyrie sucks chants from the Boston fans, like, come on, y'all. Like, Kyrie hasn't played there in 6 or 7 seasons. Like, why do you still have to, like, bludgeon the guy with, awful chants like that? Like, isn't it enough by now? I don't know. That just kind of disturbed me to listen to the game and just hear Kyrie sucks chants. Like, I just feel like Boston fans are better than that. Your team's really good. Why do you need to chant Kyrie sucks, like, every time he touches the ball? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I hate the Boston fans. So, yeah, I'm going to be on the Dallas -2 and the Dallas money line. They've got to get this series back. So, yeah, I can't bet Boston. I'm 0-2 now on Dallas, but I gotta believe they're coming back, and they're gonna make a statement in this game. So that is what I've got. Dallas -2, Dallas money line, and I'm gonna play the under 213.5. Actually, no, just 213. Sorry. So yeah, I got 5 picks for this week's episode. Game 2 of Edmonton and Panthers. Edmonton on the money line +110, over 5.5. I'm just going to play them separately. Don't combo them together. I'm not. And then game 3, Dallas and Boston. Dallas -2, Dallas money line, and under 213. That's what I've got for episode 14. Short and sweet. Obviously, only 2 games. I didn't need to do like the series recaps or the series prices or anything like that. However, the finals spread now. Obviously, Dallas is in trouble, but if you think Dallas can rattle off 4 games in a row and win -1.5 games, that is plus 1,600 odds. Another 16 to 1. No buzzer beaters yet, but that number is up to plus 3,500. So 35 to 1. You can put $1 and make $35. Correct score. Dallas to win the series 4-2, 16 to 1. Dallas to win the series 4-3, 10 to 1. If you think Boston is going to sweep the series, Boston 4-0, plus 240. It's not terrible if you wanted to switch gears. And yeah, that's about it. So that's all I've got for today's episode. I will get this posted to YouTube if you did not catch it live. Again, thank you to anyone who listens, likes, subscribes. I very much appreciate it. I am trying to keep rolling on these episodes. The U.S. Open is this week. I will do my best to get up a U.S. Open episode in the next day or 2. We'll probably have to do that at nighttime after work. Or actually, I have today off. I can maybe get to it later tonight. Before or after the hockey game. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler is the favorite. That's all I've got to say to start out with. He's amazing. But thank you to anyone who listens. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. I'm on YouTube at Steele Talkin Sports, and I am at Twitter at Steele_Talkin. Thank you, and I'll see you next Monday, June 17th. If you do not catch the golf episode coming in, I don't know, later today, maybe tomorrow. But thank you. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk to you next time.
Shake and bake. Shake and bake.